Hey everyone, it's Jax again from the Popcorn Review Podcast. Today's gonna be my episode 38, Raw After Night of Champions. It pretty much started off this today, or last night, I should say. A recap of Night of Champions just gave you like a nice little video package, about 2 minutes or so. So if you didn't get to watch it, they did let you know who won those matches and kind of what transpired. But it started off with Rhea Ripley, mommy, or how she likes to say, Monday Night Mommy. So that was actually nice to see. Rhea comes to the ring and she starts talking for maybe about 30 seconds to a minute, if that. And boom, EO Sky music hits. She comes out and EO's pretty much interrupts her. EO tells Rhea that, you can't have evolution without me. And she wants to face the best, and the best is you, Rhea Ripley. And they were kind of having a nice little exchange, no animosity. Rhea does say, hey, remember, you wanted this, but I'm taking my championship at Evolution. So it was announced these two girls are going to wrestle at Evolution. I don't know if it's the main event, but again, Rhea Ripley versus EO Sky at Evolution. I feel like EO Sky's story's been kind of weak lately, like they almost like she's an afterthought. So maybe Rhea will take it before that and be the champion going into SummerSlam. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Um, you did have like AJ Styles kind of confront Dom there, and Dom is kind of playing that. Oh well, I'm injured. Here's my doctor's note. Can't touch me. If you touch me, you lose your number one contender title shot. So he was like, well, let me see that. He was like, yeah, put your glasses on. You got AJ Styles puts his grandfather glasses on or whatever the case is, and he reached through it and he was like, okay, whatever, fine. I won't touch you till the day comes, but it is what it is. And then AJ kind of walks off, and Dom kind of talks shit under his breath. He was like, well, how about now? You ready now? He's like, nope, can't touch me. Remember that, can't touch me. I'm like, NC Hammer, can't touch me. And he rolls off to stage left. So that was actually pretty funny. If you guys are from the 80s like myself, everybody knows who MC Hammer is. So that was actually pretty funny. Can't touch me. So Dom, I'm with you on that one. Um, you did have like a segment that Bailey's kind of upset of what happened with Lyra. Bailey's having an interview and Lyra kind of interrupts, kind of like the same thing that happened the week before. And she goes, hey, I wasn't meaning to do that. That was a mistake. That wasn't the case. That wasn't what I was trying to do. She's like, yeah, but you did it. Because of you, I lost my shot to be a champion. Well, Adam Pierce, here's these girls going on back and forth. So it is announced that the two of them are going to have a title shot or a match to see who's the number one contender. And pretty much that's how it goes there, to be honest with you. You have that's later on in the night. If you want to do long story short, the two girls do wrestle it out. Um, and they kind of pin each other. So a double pin. So it's counted as a draw. I did mention in the previous episode that I do see the two girls going at each other in a three-way. And it seems like that's what's going to happen. They're going to have a three-way, possibly an Evolution. That hasn't been announced yet. But I'm pretty much sure it's going to be on an Evolution card. You're going to have a lot of women. Why not have your IC title, one of your newer titles, displayed and have a good match? So can't wait to see it. You're going to have Lyra versus Becky versus Bailey for the IC championship. I think this is when Lyra and Becky turn on each other fully, and one of them's going to win. The other one's going to be pissed off. So let's see how it plays out. Um, so you did have a match there for the men's tag team champions. You had Finn Balor and JD from the Judgment Day versus the New Day. I know I had to do it. But this match was actually pretty crazy, to be honest with you. They're both heels, but the crowd was behind JD and Finn. They were chanting anytime they hit a move, they were clapping for him. They were definitely behind him. Even Finn for a while was taking it all in. He's like, yeah, let me have it. So he was definitely feeling it. He's been a heel for such a long time that probably him being praised, he was definitely feeding into it. But this match was pretty good. I've said in the past that the New Day's new gimmick, I wasn't feeling it. It made sense for them to lose a title. I know a lot of people are shocked online saying that this is crazy to them. It should have happened on a pay-per-view. But to be honest with you, the New Day hasn't been doing much, in my opinion. Their story was kind of whack. I did expect Waller to actually cause or interrupt and cause the Judgment Day the titles. That's actually what I thought was going to happen because they've been building with Waller for the past couple weeks, and then nothing transpired. So nothing happened with Waller there. But this was actually a good match. JD and Finn looked great in this match. This was probably one of the better tag teams matches I've seen in a while. You did have the Judgment Day win this, so they are the new tag team champions. And at the end, you kind of saw them celebrating in the ring, and then they come out, and then Dirty Dom is waiting for them. The three of them celebrates, kind of like clack there, or kind of almost like cheer their championships together. So you do have again new tag team champions. So the Judgment Day is looking pretty strong. IC champion, tag team champions for the men, tag team champions for the women. Theoretically, only one person doesn't have a title. So let's see how it goes. You did have Chad, Chad Gable talk to his team. He's in a sling there. Hey, I'm not going to be around, and I want you guys to keep going, guys. I want you guys to go over to, try to get those tag titles. Ivy, you're in charge, so make sure you listen to Ivy. And in the background, you kind of saw Ludwig. He was there for 2 days now, or he was there for 2 weeks back to back. He was kind of in the background, so um that's going to play off a little bit later. You did have later on, after Chad's gone, you had after that you did have that Chad was gone. You had them having an interview, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be in the women's battle royal, whatever, I'm going to be in there, so I want to make sure we try to bring some championships to the team. And as she's talking, everybody like froze and looked over, and they see El Grande Americano standing in front of him. Much taller, I would say, than the original Chad Gable. But we all know it was Chad Gable. People online, I know you guys are going in with the motions. I don't like this gimmick. I think it's a slap in the face to every luchador, honestly, in my opinion. Y'all could have did something better name, better ring gear. Now all you have is Ludwig dressed up in the same gimmick that you had Gable in. It is what it is. Um, it was announced also you had Roxanne and Raquel. You kind of had Finn after they won the tag team titles go up to I guess, Adam Pierce there and go, hey, um, I got an idea for the women's tag team. You can move Raquel into that spot until Liv comes back. So again, you know, Finn is actually plotting still. So let Roxanne and team up with Raquel, and then they can continue to defend the titles till Liv comes back. And he goes, you know what? That's a great idea. At Evolution, we're gonna have one team from Raw, one team from SmackDown, one team from NXT versus Raquel and Roxanne and Perez to prove themselves they deserve to be champions together. This is gonna throw a big monkey wrench in Liv and Dom's plan. Um, After the match was announced, they had another segment in the back, and Finn kind of has them vote like, "Hey, let's have her. Let her be the new member of the Judgment Day. Let's vote her in." So Finn's like, "You know where I'm at." JD's following suit. Like at first, I thought JD wasn't cool with it, but JD cool with it. And Dom's like, all right, reluctantly, yes, I'll say yes. And while he says that, you have Roxanne like, oh, well, I'll do anything, and kind of looks at Dom with a weird like expression. And Dom's just like, oh, God. So she did win him over a few months ago or a few weeks ago with the Nuggies. So I wonder what she's going to do now to win him over this time around. And reluctantly, Raquel's like, okay, but you make sure you pick up your end of the bargain and we're good. So, new member of the Judgment Day, Roxana Perez, and she's one half of the women's tag team champions. So Liv is gonna be fucking pissed. Um, I always thought they were gonna break down the middle. It was gonna be JD and Finn with Roxana versus Dom, Raquel, and Liv. But I think they're winning Raquel over. She's still reluctant, but I think they're gonna win her over. She's gonna stay with that Judgment Day, and Dom and Liv are going to break off and do their own thing. But remember, Roxana did say she would do anything. So I'm thinking she might have like a bed full of nuggets for him. One day he walks into his hotel room, has like a bed full of nuggies. Y'all let me know what y'all think. We did have a match there with Rusev and Sheamus. This match was pretty good. I did say that I see Rusev winning. So I kind of felt like I already knew the ending to that, honestly. They went back and forth. There was one time they were on their knees and they were just like clotheslining each other. You just saw like the sweat bounce off of each other. So hard hitting match. Both of these guys were trying to pull all the stops, hitting each other with everything they can. There were some stiff moves here and there, but in all, Rusev did pull that one off and kind of stands over him and just saying like, yeah, pretty much I got this, like leave it alone. So I believe that rivalry is over personally, but I could be wrong. Y'all let me know in the comments. Like I mentioned, I do believe Ludwig Kaiser is the new one donning the mask of the Grande Americano. So if y'all think he's not, or y'all playing he's not, is Ludwig. It makes the most sense. Um, Around that time, you did have like Sami Zayn was having another interview, and Karrion Cross like just goes ape shit on him, starts beating him down, hits him in the stomach, hit him in the ribs with a pipe, and just beats him down. They get separated, and he was like, "It's not over." So a lot of people were saying that this rivalry or feud is over, possibly going to go into SummerSlam or something to that effect. So we'll see how it plays out. A lot of people want to see Karrion Cross. You've been seeing him for weeks now, just playing the puppet master. Has a match with Sammy there. Yes, loses, but maybe they're gonna go best out of three. Let me know what you guys think. Um, Earlier in the day, you had like a package for Goldberg about how he looked back in WCW in early years or later years in WWE. Again, I'm not excited for this match for Goldberg and Gunther, but I will say that's the Goldberg that I remember watching growing up. That video package. But that's not the Goldberg we're going to see on Saturday night's main event. We'll be lucky if he can move half of that speed or a third of that speed. But they did had a great package for him. Again, I'm not excited for this match. I think it's a waste. It didn't need to be a title defense. It could have just been a grudge match, then call it a day. But you do have Gunther later on starts talking about it like, "Oh, Goldberg, you said that you hate being bullies, and you're gonna beat down on me." He was like, "Well, I'm the biggest bully in the yard." Pretty much just talking shit. And then he starts saying, "Who's next?" Well, burn it down. You wanted it. You want to know who was next? You had Seth Rollins come out. Seth Rollins starts talking shit to Gunther. They start going back and forth, and Seth Rollins pretty much says, "I only went to Night of Champions to make sure that CM Punk didn't win a champion. My whole intention, Gunther, is to have that title around your waist, be around my waist. So don't get it twisted. I don't care about what John Cena's doing. I just wanted to make sure that CM Punk did not become a champion before I did again." And he's keeping his word. He's making sure that CM Punk is not becoming a champion. But what happens? CM Punk comes out, starts chasing him down. Seth Rollins runs up the stairs like a little bitch, and him and Gunther kind of have like a little weird interaction. Gunther kind of goes to grab Punk, and Punk takes him and like shoves him to the ground, which I'm surprised because as big as fucking Gunther is, you got pushed over by a guy probably like 70 pounds or more lighter than you. But while Seth Rollins is BSing up there trying to be a little bitch, LA Knight, yeah, starts beating him down. He beats him through the crowd, beats him up the stairs, beats him outside by the concession stands, and you have Seth Rollins being a little punk, runs off per usual. Um, but in all, guys, it was a pretty good show to a sense. Um, you did have the match. Actually, no, I did mention the match with Bailey. It's gonna be, I believe, it's gonna be a three-way. Um, so main event, you had Sami Zayn and Penta. Remember, Sami Zayn now has bruised ribs or whatever the case is. He has his ribs taped up versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Um, to be honest with you, this was an okay match. I understand why Sammy's there, and Penta's kind of like pretty much told Rollins like, "I'm not going nowhere. You're gonna see me for years to come." Um, Decent match. Braun Breaker can sell. Like I said, he's a fucking monster. Bronson Reed, I'm still trying to get to know him. Penta, I've been watching since AEW and Lucha Underground, so I've seen Penta a lot. Sami Zayn, I've been watching him since NXT, so a nice match to have. Honestly, I expected the good guys to win. It wasn't the case. You had Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed take the win, and then after the win was over, they wanted to continue to beat down on that team. They actually started to for a little bit, and then you hear Jay Uso's music hit. Main event comes out, starts beating them down with the chair, scares them off or have them run off, And then the end of the day, you have the good guys standing tall, even though they lost the match. You have Sammy, Penta, and Jey Uso in the ring. Crowd going crazy. Again, decent Monday night there. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let's see what happens at Evolution. Guys, thanks for watching. Have a great one.